Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hedger begins now.
Good evening, everyone. The future of a popular Hobart venue could be in jeopardy with the building not complying with safety regulations. The owners forced to cut live music for the weekend and are now reaching out to the public for help.
It's been a quieter weekend at this beloved pub. All gigs cancelled and moved to other venues, with the building no longer up to scratch, according to the Hobart City Council.
The building is not in compliance with their regulations. We are currently a Class 6 building, and we need to be up to a 9B, which is for live music.
The 200-year-old Brisbane Hotel has been at the heart of Hobart's music scene for over a decade, giving many local musicians, like James Brady, their first break.
The future of the music scene, the health of the music scene in Hobart, I'd say it's crucial. I don't know of any other venues that offer what the Brisbane Hotel has offered.
So many bands have cut their teeth at the Brisbane Hotel.
But this could change if major structural work isn't done. The owners have since taken to Facebook to encourage the community to lend a hand.
And to do that, the cost is huge, and we can't afford that.
In a statement, the Hobart City Council says the issue is all about patron safety and is concerned some of the requirements in the Building Act are being ignored.
We want to see either the council or government help out live music venues, existing live music venues, in coming up to compliance.
The owners have applied for a temporary occupancy permit, with gigs expected next weekend. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
In a bid to ease pressure off ambulance workers, stations in regional areas across Tasmania are set to receive a boost in staff this year. 12 new paramedics will be posted to Dodgers Ferry, Bicheno, Deloraine and St Helens.
This initiative was about analysing where we could better improve regional service delivery, and the message to all communities, rural communities out there, is where we can provide that service.
The state government is aiming to recruit 42 additional paramedics over the next 6 years. Diets have been tested and wallets have been emptied at this year's Chocolate Winterfest. Around 10,000 people found their way to Latrobe's sweetest day on the calendar.
With the sun outshining, Winterfest didn't quite match its name. Still, it was a good idea to pack a poncho.
1, 2, 3, go!
You won't see blindfolded chocolate mousse eating at the next Olympics, but you will at Latrobe.
Mother and daughter team. Mother and daughter team, we've got it down pat.
And did it taste good at least?
I didn't taste anything. I didn't get anything in my mouth.
There were mouth-watering fountains and enough treats to send anyone into a spin.
Listen, it's so well organised. You know, the people are really friendly. The whole town just becomes Chocolate Fest.
Old rappers were given new life as fashion. Artwork was also created with a sugary palette, although it was probably just best to be admired.
Pigments I use are not toxic, but they're not recommended for food.
So probably better for the Glover Prize than the Hobart Fine Food Awards.
Absolutely.
Elsewhere you could have a ball or join in the Jenga. Even the Latrobe Fire Brigade is getting in on the sweet stuff. One chilli chocolate sausage, please. That's different. There was little question the town was chock-a-block.
In terms of numbers, we expect to get close to 10,000 people into Latrobe today. Population normally around 4.5. That's pretty significant.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Back home to the TSL and Lauderdale coach Darren Winter says he'll be seeking answers from AFL Tasmania during the week after claiming his side was hard done by during yesterday's 45-point loss to North Launceston at Skybus Oval. Winter taking exception to several off-the-ball incidents, which he says were overlooked by umpires.
They sniped us off the ball. There's a lot of hits off the ball, and I suppose they were trying to impose themselves on the game, which I think a couple of years ago that cost us a grand final, and today it was just part and parcel of everyday football, which I find hard to believe.
North Launceston all but sealed the minor premiership with the win, but coach Taylor Whitford isn't handing out any pats on the back just yet.
It's not the be-all and end-all, and we're not setting ourselves for top spot. We're setting ourselves to play on grand final day.
The reigning premiers take on North Hobart at Invermay Park next Saturday, with Lauderdale up against Glenorchy at KG5. Meantime, Launceston have run out big winners against the Tigers in their TSLW game at Windsor Park today. Abby Green kicked 4 goals for the home team, while North Melbourne young gun Daria Bannister kicked 2 and got plenty of the ball. The visitors' only goal came in the first quarter, with the undefeated Blues too slick, booting 12 majors for the match. Launceston now sit 3 games clear on top of the ladder. To basketball, and following the Southern Huskies' sensational fall from grace, the Hobart Chargers are now poised to make a return into the sporting landscape. And the club's Siebel Championship winning president wants to help repair the damage left by the failed Huskies experiment.
Bartlett was one of the first to throw his support behind the now debunked franchise, only to publicly withdraw it a couple of months later.
I, haven't had anything to do with them for about a year now, so I don't know what their operation was like. I don't know the internals.
The Huskies officially pulled out of the Australian NBL 1 and New Zealand NBL competitions last Friday, and it's understood the club now owes more than $150,000 worth of debt to players, coaches, venues and the leagues.
People want to come in and get a piece of the action. Some will come and some will go. But ultimately, the game remains. The basketball community will move on pretty quickly and put in place the things that we need. If we're going to have an NBL team in the future.
With Hobart left without any representation in the National Basketball League's feeder competition, the Chargers are not only the front runners, but potentially the only candidates capable of filling that void.
We said we would keep the engine ticking over. We've got money in the bank, we've got a volunteer army ready to go, and we've got a board that is absolutely committed to getting the Chargers back on the floor.
Bartlett says he's now working with Basketball Tasmania to make that happen, despite a falling out between the two organisations last December, which led to the Chargers pulling out of the domestic league before being replaced by the Huskies.
It's the strong and those who are really committed and those who really, do the work that survive and prosper. And I think what we're going to see is basketball continue to grow in Tasmania. We need our sponsors and our supporters to indicate that they want us to be back.
An official announcement on a new Hobart team is expected in the coming weeks.
Welcome back. We had a showery morning about most of the state today, with the north remaining fairly dry. Burnie and Devonport had the state's top temp, reaching 16 degrees, Launceston 14, Hobart just 11. Maximum temperatures were a degree or 2 above average in the north, but up to 3 degrees below average elsewhere. Smithton 15, Lowhead 14, Strawn 13, St Helens Friendly Beaches, Ooze and the Bass Strait Islands all with tops of 12 today. Maria Island and Grove both 11. And after the state's low of -2 overnight, it reached a top of just 4 degrees at Laoini. From the satellite, we can see convective cloud over most of the state, with the north remaining relatively clear. Zooming out, low clouds sat over the south of the mainland today, with some convective cloud to the west. Moving ahead to tomorrow now, and the chart shows a high sitting over the Bight, with dominant troughs and fronts about the Tasman Sea. On the waters, westerly winds shifting southwesterly at 20 to 30 knots in the afternoon, seas at 2 to 3 metres. And we've got a few warnings. There's a strong wind warning for all coastal waters, a small craft wind alert for the Central Plateau Lakes, and a road weather alert for icy conditions in the Central Plateau District. Showers expected in Hobart tomorrow, a top of 13, Dover and Ooze both with showers as well and tops of 12. Launceston, morning frost ahead of a partly cloudy day, 15 the top, Devonport partly cloudy and 14, Scottsdale 13. Burnie, a possible shower with a top of 13, Strawn and Stanley both 12 degrees. Looking partly cloudy in the east, St Helens 15, Swansea 14, Ross cloudy with a top of 12. And taking a look ahead to Tuesday now, showers about the west and far south easing in the afternoon, mostly fine elsewhere. Wednesday, showers about the west and developing in the north through the day. And Thursday, showers expected about most of the state. Looking further north tomorrow, a sunny day for Perth, Brisbane and Darwin. Sydney and Adelaide both looking partly cloudy, and morning showers expected in Melbourne with a top of 13. And finally, let's take a look at the current conditions. And with that, Louise, it's back to you.
Wonderful, thank you for that, Britt. There was a delicate operation in Italy to save a cow that fell down a very rocky cliff. Firefighters had to be winched down to reach the animal before it was airlifted to safety. We're happy to report that she's now doing well. That's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a lovely evening. Good night.